Welcome back, my super charms, to another interesting reading session with Christabel. This session and the series of other reading sessions that will follow will be based on the storybook titled The Village Meeting, a personal product of this channel. Each reading session will cover two or three interesting chapters of this book. Come with me. Let's explore the first three chapters of this book, starting from chapter 1, titled The Gathering Storm. Before we go into the reading, let's pronounce some of the words you'll come across in this chapter. The first one is anticipation, rumors, murmured, diplomacy, racing. As a way of preview, look out for the answers to the following questions in the course of our reading. What was the agenda of the Ojumo village meeting? Why was the meeting significant to the people of Ojumo? How did Baba Benga address the villagers? Why was the king's heart troubled before the meeting? Let's proceed to the reading of chapter 1, titled The Gathering Storm. In a very busy village of Ojumo, surrounded by rolling hills, the air was thick with anticipation. A village meeting was called by the elders, and everyone knew it was about a matter of great importance. Akin, a young and ambitious farmer, was among the first to arrive at the meeting square. He greeted his fellow villagers warmly, but his mind was elsewhere. He had heard rumors about a new government policy that could affect the villagers' land rights, and he feared the worst. Yemi, the village elder and a renowned storyteller, noticed Akin's troubled expression and approached him. What troubles you, young Akin? He asked, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Akin sighed. I have heard rumors about the government planning to take our land for a new development project. If it's true, it could spell disaster for our village. Yemi nodded sympathetically. I have heard the same rumors, but we must not jump to conclusions. Let us wait for the meeting to begin and hear what the elders have to say. As more villagers gathered, the atmosphere grew tense. The sound of drums filled the air, signaling the start of the meeting. Baba Benga, the respected leader of the village, arrived with a stern look on his face. He addressed the villagers, his voice firm and commanding. My fellow villagers, We have been summoned here today to discuss a matter of great importance. It has come to our attention that the government may have plans that could affect our land rights. We must stand united and face this challenge together. The villagers murmured among themselves, fear and uncertainty evident in their eyes. Akin looked around, taking in the faces of his friends and neighbors. He knew that the time had come for them to come together and protect their way of life. As the meeting progressed, emotions ran high. Some villagers argued for confrontation, while others advocated for diplomacy. Akin listened intently, his mind racing with ideas. He knew that they needed a plan, and fast. As the sun began to set in Ojumo, the villagers dispersed, each lost in their own thoughts. Akin, Yemi, and Baba Benga remained behind, deep in conversation. They knew that the days ahead would be challenging, but they were determined to face them head on. Little did they know, this meeting would mark the beginning of a journey that would test their resolve, unity, and faith in each other. Would you like to know what Akin's concerns were after the meeting? How did Yemi help Akin? What was Akin's resolve? Let's find out in chapter 2. Chapter 2, Akin's concerns. As usual, let's pronounce these few words you'll come across in chapter 2. Rhythmic, north, horizon. Let's proceed to the reading of chapter 2, titled Akin's Concerns. The following day, Akin woke up early, his mind still consumed by the events of the village meeting. He tended to his crops with a heavy heart. The rhythmic motion of his hoe failing to ease his troubled thoughts. As he worked, he couldn't shake the feeling of unease that gnawed at him. The rumors about the government's plans weighed heavily on his mind, filling him with a sense of dread for the future of Ojumo. As the sun rose higher in the sky, Akin decided to take a break from his work and seek out Yemi for advice. He found the elder sitting beneath the shade of a baobab tree, his eyes closed in quiet contemplation. Yemi, Akin said, approaching cautiously. I cannot shake the feeling of fear that grips me. What if the rumors are true? What will become of our land, our home? Yemi opened his eyes and regarded Akin with a calm expression. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, my young friend, he replied. But we must not let it consume us. Instead, we must focus on what we can control and have faith in our ability to overcome any challenge. Akin nodded, but the fear still lingered in his heart. He knew that Yemi spoke wise words, but the uncertainty of the situation weighed heavily on him. As the day wore on, Akin's thoughts continued to spiral. He couldn't help but imagine a future where the village was torn apart, the land lost to the whims of outsiders. The thoughts filled him with a sense of helplessness. He longed for a way to protect his home and his people. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Akin returned to his humble abode, his mind still clouded with worry. He knew that he needed to find a way to ease his fears and find a solution to the predicament, but the path forward remained unclear. As he drifted off to sleep, Akin made a silent vow to himself. He will do whatever it takes to protect his village, his land, and his way of life. Little did he know, his determination would soon be put to the test in ways he never imagined. Would you like to know what is the rumor about Ojumo village? What is Aken's major worries about the future of Ojumo? What did Aken share with Baba Benga? Let's find out in chapter 3. Chapter 3, Yemi's Wisdom. Let's pronounce these few words you'll come across in this chapter correctly. Listened. The T is silent. Listened. Awoke. Awoke. Strong. Strong. Together. Together. The next morning, Akin awoke with a newfound determination. He knew that he needed to find a way to protect his village, but he also knew that he couldn't do it alone. He sought out Yemi, hoping that the elder's wisdom would help him find a path forward. He found Yemi sitting outside his hut, surrounded by children eager to hear one of his legendary tales. Akin waited patiently until the story was finished before approaching the elder. Yemi, Akin began, I fear for the future of our village. The rumors about the government's plans weigh heavily on my mind. Is there anything we can do to protect our land? Yemi regarded Akin with a knowing smile. My dear Akin, fear is a powerful emotion, but it can also cloud our judgments. We must approach this situation with a clear mind and a steady heart. Remember, our strength lies in our unity. Together, we can overcome any obstacle. Akin nodded, taking Yemi's words to heart. He knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but he also knew that he had the support of his fellow villagers. As the day went on, Akin worked tirelessly, his mind racing with ideas. He knew that they needed a plan, and he was determined to find one. He sought out Babagbenga, hoping to gain the elder's insights. Babagbenga listened patiently as Akin outlined his ideas. He nodded thoughtfully, offering words of encouragement and advice. Together, they formulated a plan to protect their land and the way of life. That evening, as the sun set over Ojumo, Akin gathered the villagers together. He shared their plan, outlining the steps they would take to protect the land from the government's encroachment. The villagers listened intently, their faces filled with determination. They knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but they also knew that they were stronger together. As they dispersed for the night, Akin felt a sense of hope blossoming within him. He knew that the challenges they faced were great, but he also knew that as long as they stood united, they could overcome anything. Would you like to know the general feelings and atmosphere of the villagers ahead of the expected meeting? What was Babagbenga's message in the next meeting? What did he remind them at the end of the meeting? Let's find out in Chapter 4.